Perfect. Okay. So you can leave all of your layers on if you wish. And if you're practicing in demand, very welcome everyone. It's going to be a full yin and restorative class today. Just a little bit of movement, bit of pranayama, breath control technique, but mostly just really relaxing and grounding. So we're going to need a few props for this practice. So if you've got a bolster, then great. If you don't have a bolster, don't worry. You can always use 2 cushions or 2 sleeping pillows and a blanket if you have one, and 2 blocks, and just have them handy. You're not going to need them for the start. So we're going to start in a very gentle back bend. So if you've got a bolster, go ahead and place that bolster behind you. If you've got cushions, just placing 2 cushions, one on top of each other. So just creating a little bit of a lift from the ground. And then if you've got the blanket, just place the blankets on top of the bolster or the cushion so you have a little bit of a soft surface. And then we'll turn away from the bolster, cushions, and just come to lie down. So if you've got cushions, you're kind of bringing the cushions more towards the upper back area. So it's a little bit more opening for the chest in your upper chest. But if you've got a bolster, just go ahead and lie down, relaxing the spine down, and just bring the arms either side of the body. Feet can be planted or you can stretch the legs out. Take a moment to get comfy. You might want to just shuffle around a little bit. Get yourself just that 5 to 10% more comfortable. It might feel comfortable to close the eyes or just relax the eyelids. And as you ease yourself into physical stillness, it might feel natural to start taking some fuller breaths here. Perhaps breathing in through the nose and maybe out through the mouth. And we'll start by exploring this concept of awareness, this kind of quality or ingredient of yoga, physical and mental awareness. So we might start by exploring awareness in terms of the physical body. So do you notice any places of tension or ease? Maybe you notice places of warmth or coolness. Perhaps you notice where the body meets the props and earth beneath you. And then we'll just gently draw the awareness to your breathing. So just checking in and seeing if you can feel the breath moving through any part of the body. Nice. And we're going to do a little mantra meditation as we lie here. So mantra can be a word or a sentence in any language that makes sense to you. And today we're going to use English. And we're going to focus on the word calm. So every time you exhale, just repeating the word calm to yourself in your head. Just so it's at a rhythm and a pace that feels comfortable for you. Exhale, calm. Maybe you just explore how the word calm has an effect on the muscles in your physical body. So there might be a gentle softening of the shoulders, and perhaps releasing and relaxing through the eyes and the forehead, perhaps the jaw. Keep repeating the word calm on the exhale. And of course, other thoughts might come up. This is completely natural and to be expected. But rather than kind of judging, just gently say, oh, well, and just come back to the word calm on the breath out. Just disregarding any thoughts and returning back to calm. Okay, and then just finishing off this breath and the mantra calm. Just relax your attention from the mantra. Let the breath be easy and be slow. When you feel ready to move out of this pose, we're just going to gently, gently re-bend the legs if they're not already bent. And then allow yourself to roll to one side, but keeping the body on the prop. So we're just kind of rotating the body and bringing the side body, whichever side feels most natural for you, on towards the props. You can rest your head on the cushions, maybe rest your head in the arm can rest on the cushions or bolster. And just take a moment on your side just to check in and see how the breath is doing now. Calm. Nice. And then gently, gently take your time, press yourself up to a comfy seated position. And if you want to, you can have some cushions or a blanket underneath the bum, just for that slight lift in the hips. And then we'll just place the palms wherever feels most comfortable for you. And we'll just start with some very gentle shoulder rolls here. So take an inhale to hike the shoulders up towards the ears, really nice and slow. And then exhale to melt the shoulders down the back of the body. Nice. Think really slow motion here. Inhale, roll the shoulders up. Exhale, roll shoulders all the way back down. Nice. Take that one more time. Nice. And then we'll relax the shoulders down the back of the body. Slide the hands forwards towards the knees. And we'll start with a very gentle seated cat cow. So think even more slower than you normally go. As we inhale, chest comes forward slightly as we roll the shoulders back. Maybe we lift through chin and gaze. And then as we exhale, sitting towards the back of the bum, round through the spine, shoulders forwards and chin to chest. Nice. We'll keep that movement flowing with your breath. Inhale, chest forwards, shoulders back. And maybe we lift the gaze. And then exhale to round and dome, head and neck heavy. Keep that flowing with your own breath. If you feel like you want to close the eyes, you can absolutely do so. So it makes it easier to drop into your inner environment. And you can make this movement really subtle or more exaggerated. You choose what feels good. Two more breaths here. Nice. And then exhale, rounding and doming. Take your time to come back to a neutral spine. If you want to change the cross of the legs so the non-habitual shin comes forwards, then you're very welcome. And we'll move into a pranayama, a breath control technique called Nadi Shodhana, our alternate nostril breathing. So we're going to pick up the right hand and just bend the peace fingers in towards the center. So you're bending the index finger and the middle finger, and you should have the thumb, ring finger, and little finger out. And then the thumb and the fingers we'll use as a seal for each nostril. So the thumb for the right nostril and the other ones for the left nostril. You can rest the peace fingers if you want on your third eye center. That's another option. Or you can keep the peace fingers drawn in towards the center of the palm. So take a breath in through both nostrils to begin with. And an exhale through both. Then we'll seal the right nostril with the thumb and inhale through the left. Seal the left and exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Seal the right and exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Seal the left and exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Seal the right and exhale through the left. Just continue with your own breath rhythm for 2 more rounds. I'll let you know when we're finished. Don't worry too much if you feel like you're getting it wrong or right. Just as long as you're breathing in and out through both nostrils, it doesn't really matter. One more round. Finish exhaling through the left nostril. And we'll place the hand back down towards the thigh or the knee. Take an inhale through both nostrils and an exhale through both. Take a moment here, eyes closed or relaxing the eyelids downwards, just to check in and see if there's anything coming up for you, any wisdom that's arising. And if there's something coming up for you, you might want to set an intention or a sankalpa for your practice. So, this can be based on something that you wish to heal, transform, or cultivate in your life. And you can start the sentence with I am, and whatever you wish to cultivate. So, for example, if you want to feel more peace, I am peaceful, etc. Nice. Okay, just keep that intention with yourself in your heart as we move through the rest of our practice today. So, just moving really slowly, consciously, we're going to move into a malasana squat. So, if you like to do the squat with some blocks, you're very welcome to have two blocks on top of each other, maybe a blanket on a block, and then we're going to sit on the blocks itself. And again, you can remove one block if you want, remove two blocks, use no blocks if you want. Another option, if you want a slightly softer surface, is to actually sit on a stack of cushions or the edge of a bolster. So you choose what feels good for you. Take your time. Sometimes we might want a soft surface, sometimes one that's a little bit harder. So once you feel comfy, we're going to heel toe the feet so the feet are about mat distance apart. Think about bringing the heels in a little bit and the toes out. You can allow the elbows to separate out the knees here. So if I was facing you, I'd look something like this. So you're opening up through the hip joints. Hands can come together in Namaskar or Anjali Mudra at the heart, or you can just hang the arms down. So see what feels most natural, nurturing for you. So we're not looking to push into anything too deep of a stretch here, just a gentle hip opener. Should feel quite comfy. If it feels a little bit too much strain in your hips, you can think about bringing the feet a little bit closer together. Crown of the head keeps lifting up, tailbone lengthening down. Feel free to close the eyes or just relax the gaze downwards. Taking a breath in through the nose and a breath out through the mouth. Continuing to breathe this smooth, slow breath rhythm. And you might find it comfy to stay with this rhythm, or you can think about evening out the inhale and the exhale. So the in breath is more or less the same length as the out breath. Having a little check in and seeing if there's any tension that's crept up in the jaw area, the tongue, the forehead. And can that just gently release and let go? For the last couple of breaths in here, you can think about staying as you are. Might be plenty. Or maybe you take the feet a little bit wider so the hips can open a bit more. And you start to feel just a very slight opening through the hips. So it's a little bit more intense than before. Again, this is just optional, no need to push into the edges. 3 more breaths in here. Finishing off the breath that you're on. And then we'll gently, gently make our way out of this pose. So just rest the hands back down in front of you. Maybe the fingertips come down. Heel toe the feet. So the feet are about hip width apart. And we're going to lift up into a forward fold, but we're going to set up some of the blocks ready for our yin forward fold. So if you've got 2 blocks here, just place them in front of you on its highest setting, about shoulder width apart. If you're sitting on the blocks, just slide them in front of you. And then we'll gently lift up to standing. You can come all the way up if you want. And then bend the legs. Start to hinge from the hips. The option to bring the hands down towards the blocks if you want. And then just relax the upper body all the way down. So sometimes having that support underneath the hands can feel quite nurturing, quite supportive. If you find that this is too much of a fold, you can always lift up a little bit and just let the arms hang a couple of inches away from the blocks. Otherwise, just allowing the spine to gently become heavy. Nice. So keep a bend in the knees. You might want to just gently say yes and no with the head here, nodding yes and no. So just releasing a little bit of tension away from the neck. You might notice that you're holding to some tension here, maybe in the body, but perhaps even in the mind. You might be carrying some feelings of worry, some disappointments, maybe some joys and triumphs from the week previous. Just letting everything roll off the spine with your breath. For the last couple of breaths, you can stay as you are. You might want to just explore straightening the legs a little bit and rolling the weight forwards into the balls of the feet. So a little bit more stretch for your hamstring muscles. We'll breathe 3 more breaths in here. Take your time. Nice. And then finish off your 3rd breath. Rebend the legs generously. Keep bending the legs and start to bring the bum all the way down. So this doesn't have to look too graceful here. Just plop the bum down and then we'll come into a comfortable seated position. Take a moment in stillness, just realigning the spine, relaxing the shoulders and the head. Take a breath in and a breath out. Sometimes we can just take a moment to realign ourselves physically, emotionally after quite a deep forward fold. Nice. And then we'll make our way into a seated twist from here. So right hand reaches for that left knee. Left hand reaches behind us. You can form a little tent with that left hand. And then just ease the body over towards the left. So we don't want to push or tug into anything that feels rigid. Just a very gentle twist. You can keep the head in line with the chest, or maybe you twist the head all the way back. Weave the breath through the body. Staying in your twist for 3 more breaths. When you finish that last breath, just gently ease the body back through center. Hand comes to rest on the thigh. And then when you feel ready, we'll go straight into the other side. So left hand reaches for that right knee. Right hand comes behind us, rests on the ground behind the body. And then just gently, gently easing the torso over towards the right. It's very normal for one side to feel very different to the other. And this can change day to day, month to month. So you might find that you go a little bit too far and then you want to pull back in this pose or any other poses. And that's all part of the practice. Finding calm, breathing deep. 3 more breaths here. Okay, when you're ready, just easing the body back through center. Take an inhale through center and an exhale here. Moving into some very gentle neck stretches. You stay as you are, but I'm just going to turn around here so you can see me. So we're going to tilt the right ear towards the right shoulder. Try and keep the gaze facing forwards. So option 1, stay here. This is plenty. Option 2, lifting up the right hand and just placing it on the left ear or left side of the head. So it's just a very gentle weight of the hand, pulling, drawing that head down. Try not to kind of pull the head down too much here. Just let the weight of the hand kind of do its job, stretching out the side of the neck. And again, just marinate the breath into this experience. For the last couple of breaths, you can stay as you are. Or you can start to tilt the head down so your gaze moves down towards that right leg or right hip. It just creates a little bit of a different stretch through the side of the neck. 3 more breaths in here. When you finished off that breath, we'll rotate the head so you're looking forward once more. And just bring that right hand all the way down. Lift the head back through center. Nice. Take a moment through center. Full breath in. And a slow, easy breath out. We'll go the other way. So left ear tilts over towards the left shoulder. Just chill here for a sec. Breathing. Gently opening up through the opposite side of the neck. You might want to stay here. Maybe that left hand comes to rest on your right ear or right side of the head. Again, this is just an option, no need to take it. There is a tendency here to start to clench through the jaw. So if that's happening, just gently, gently unclench. Let the tongue rest heavy. Calm. Okay, you can stay here. Maybe you start to draw the gaze downwards. So again, it's just targeting a different muscle group at the side of the neck. And we'll breathe our last couple of breaths in here. When this stretch feels complete for you, just twist the head back through center, relax that left arm all the way down, lift the head back through the middle, and just allow yourself to move the head and the neck however feels comfortable for you. So it might just be a gentle twisting the head, looking over one shoulder and the other. You might want to roll the head into gentle circles above the shoulders, chin to chest, rolling the head back. Just use it as a really exploratory moment in your practice here, where you explore what feels good in your body, moving at a pace and speed that feels comfy for you. One more breath in here. And lifting the head all the way back through center. Nice. Going to come to lie down on the back now. So take your time. If you've got a cushion or a blanket, just have them handy because we might need it for a little bit of support. Come to lie down on the back of the body. And we're going to take a twist here, but you've got some options with the arms. So option 1, just have the arms down either side of the body, palms facing up or down. Option 2, you can cactus the arms, bringing the right arm, bringing the elbows in line with the shoulders. Option 3, a little bit more stretch for the sides of the body. You can take a hold of elbows above the head and just allow the armpits to be open as you allow the sides of the body to just expand a little bit. So lots of options today. I'm just going to keep my arms in cactus so my mic doesn't fall into my head. Okay, keep the feet about hip width apart. We'll press down through the feet here just to gently lift the hips. Scoot the hips over towards the left slightly. Then keeping both legs and knees together, allow both knees to float off towards the right. There's an option here to have a blanket or a cushion underneath that bottom leg, underneath that right leg. Another option is to have the blanket or the cushion in between the knees. Sometimes can feel a bit more nurturing and natural. Or you can have both, one underneath the leg, one in between the knees. Nice. Okay, just a very gentle supine twist. Supine meaning lying on your back. Once you've found that comfy spot, it should feel quite comfortable. Taking a moment to notice where you want to place the head. So you might find that it feels comfortable just chilling here, looking up at the ceiling. Maybe you want to twist the head over towards the left or the right. I highly recommend relaxing the eyelids or completely closing the eyes. Slow, smooth breathing. And just let gravity kind of do its thing, sink you into this pose a little bit more as it makes the body a bit heavy. And I'm going to leave you here in silence just for a minute or two. You'll hear my voice very, very soon. Three more breaths. Okay, when you feel ready to move out of this pose, take your time. Tone the muscles in the tummy a little so you can draw the knees back through middle nice and slow and smooth. Take a moment just to realign the spine and just a moment to let the spine become heavy. If you've got a blanket that you used on one side or a cushion, you might want to just slide it towards the left this time, so you've got that support on the left. If you want to take a different option with the arms, that's also very welcome. When you're ready, we'll press down through the feet here to lift the hips. This time the hips slide over towards the right as you drop both knees over towards the left. Take a moment to get comfy. So you might just want to rearrange props here, maybe rearrange the body. Maybe the knees feel a little bit more comfortable, a bit further down, perhaps a bit further up. Head, neck, and shoulders heavy. Take an inhale through the nose. And an exhale through the mouth. Sometimes it's helpful just to scan the body internally and just see if there's any other parts of the body that you're holding on to that perhaps can let go. So, for instance, sometimes I tend to hold on to tension around the ankles and the feet. Perhaps it's a little bit further up the body, maybe that little space between the eyebrows can relax. Mm. Keep breathing here. Three more breaths. Taking your last breath in here. And a slow, easy release. And you feel ready to move. Just ease the legs back through the middle so the knees point up towards the ceiling. Realign the spine. You might want to stay in stillness. It might feel quite nice just to windscreen wiper the knees from side to side. You can take the feet a little wider and just let the knees drop one way and the other. If you've got a blanket on top of you, you can keep the blanket on top. Take a breath in and a breath out. Nice. Once this movement feels complete for you, just draw the legs back through the middle. And then we'll pull the knees in towards the body. Take a hold of the backs of the thighs And just roll yourself up nice and slow to a comfy seated position. Nice. So we're going to come into a supported puppy pose and a hastasana. There's lots of ways to set up for this, depending on which props you have. So if you've got a blanket, if you're not obviously cold, have the blanket underneath the knees. If you find there's enough padding underneath the knees, then absolutely fine. And if you've got a bolster, just have the bolster in front of you widthways. If you want, you can use two cushions, one next to each other. So I actually haven't got two cushions, but just imagine I have two. So one here and then one here. And you can also use blocks for this, but blocks might feel a little bit harder for the arms to rest on. So if you want to use blocks, you can also use them on its lowest setting. So I'm just going to demonstrate with a bolster here. So you're going to bring the feet, knees about hip width apart, resting the elbows on the cushions or the bolster, and then gently, gently allowing the forehead to sink down here. So if you find that your forehead doesn't touch the ground, then you might want to bring a block underneath the forehead. If the forehead wants to sink down a little lower, then you can rest the forehead on the ground. If you find you're okay just hovering the forehead above the ground, then that's fine too. So keep the arms stretching forwards, tailbone stretching back, option to keep the toes tucked. We're not going to be here for too long in comparison to the other poses. Just let the breath flow through the body here. So you might find as you breathe and stay here, the forehead just sinks down, the chest comes down, and you find a little extra stretch through the armpits. Let the arms, the hands be soft and relaxed. Breathing towards the back and the sides of the rib cage. Three more breaths here. Finish off the breath that you're on. And if you've got your toes tucked, just untuck the toes. And we're just going to scoot the hips back towards the heels and just come to rest in a comfy child's pose. You can take the knees a little wider, push the cushions or the bolster forward. Forehead can rest on the earth, or maybe you make a little pillow with the hands. Just a moment to check in, regulate the breath. Let the sensations in the body settle. Relax the muscles in the face. We'll take one more breath in here. Great. Then carefully lift yourself up, and we're going to come to sit down on the mat. So don't worry about looking too graceful here. However you want to come to sit down is absolutely fine. And we're going to finish in a caterpillar forward fold. So quite a nice one to have support underneath the knees. So if you want a cushion or a bolster underneath the knees, just slide them underneath. Another option, if you don't have a bolster, if you have an extra blanket, is to roll the blanket up into a sausage shape, and then you can have that underneath the knees. Anyway, so we're gonna just stretch out the legs about hip width apart. Feet can be nice and relaxed here. If you don't want to use anything underneath, or you don't have access to anything underneath the knees, then feel free to just stretch the legs out. If you've got a blanket, quite a nice option just to place the blanket on top of your shoulders so you stay warm. I'm going to demonstrate without, just so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, hands can come to rest on your knees or maybe either side. Take an inhale here to find a little bit of length through the spine. Exhale, you're going to allow the spine to round here. So think like a cat-shaped spine. Just slide the hands down the length of the legs. Crown of the head just rounds forward. Head drops low. And you can just chill here with your head hanging. Another option is to bring a cushion on top of your knees here and just rest the forehead on the cushion if you want some support. If not, then just allowing the spine to round and fold down. So when we come into a forward fold, there is a tendency sometimes to push our bodies into a little bit more of a deeper forward fold than feels comfortable and safe in our bodies. So just have a little check-in and just see if you're perhaps forcing the body forwards. And if that is, just know it's completely normal. Having a little chuckle to yourself and just maybe pulling out the fold a little so you're at a place that feels comfy. And you might traction the breath into the sides and the back of the rib cage here. Soften through the jaw. Relax the whole scalp. Very welcome to stay here, just breathing. Or we can start to incorporate that mantra calm into the out breath. Just let the in breath arise spontaneously. And exhale calm. 3 more breaths in here. You might explore a little bit more of a forward fold here as you draw the upper body down. Finish off the breath that you're on. And when you finish that breath, we'll just gently roll the spine all the way up, nice and slow. And then come onto lie on the back of the body straight into our relaxation. Highly recommend having something on top of you just to ease yourself into a nice, cozy, warm relaxation place. I'm going to turn off some of the lights here, getting ready for our Shavasana relaxation. So it's really important during this time of year to find some stillness, some silence, and some calm so that we can kind of process and reintegrate our thoughts, our feelings. And so I'm going to allow you to have this whole Shavasana in complete silence. You can choose to breathe normally or at a breath rhythm that feels comfortable for you. Just let the body soften and let the mind be free. beginning to deepen your breath. Just becoming aware of the space around you, your body lying down. You might find that it feels natural and intuitive to bring some movement back to your body here. So just check in and see how you want to do that. So it might be through the head and the fingers and the toes to start off with. Maybe a stretch and a yawn feels quite nice, can feel quite nice in stillness practices like yin or restorative yoga. And then drawing the knees in towards the body and just let the body roll off to one side if that feels comfortable for you. Otherwise, you can stay lying down on your back. Just take a moment on your side just to give yourself some gratitude for this time and space that you've carved out for yourself. Then we'll gently press ourselves all the way back up into a comfy seat. Keep the blankets, jumpers, socks, whatever you have on top of you. We'll bring the hands together in Namaskar Mudra at the heart, or you can keep the hands down on the knees or thighs. Take a moment to connect back to that intention or sankalpa if you thought of one at the start of the practice. Then we'll take a moment to thank ourselves and our bodies for our practice today. Ending with one last deep breath in and out together. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, calm. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you have a lovely rest of the day. Just going to stop the record.